I'm talking about operating system today. A computer structure can be divided into hardware, operating system, application programs, and users. User uses the computer hardware through these two layers. One is the application software, the other is the operating system. User interact with the application software, which in turn utilize the operating system functions to interact with the hardware. And that is how user does job on computer. Whenever we switch on laptop or computer, a bootstrap program is loaded. That is the initial program which loads, and that program resides or stored in a read-only memory of the computer. We cannot alter that. And it initializes all aspects of the system, and it hand over things to the operating system. It loads operating system core or kernel and starts the execution. Operating system have two components, user interface and kernel. User interface is the part of operating system by which we interact. That I am interacting with my laptop using the computer screen with mouse in my hand, and cursor is moving when I am moving the mouse. This is how I am interacting with the operating system through the graphic user interface. So this user interface, which is in front of me, is graphic user interface. Sometimes the interface is command based. That is, a black screen is there and a cursor is there. There is no graphics on the interface. So interface are two types, command based and graphics. And these two we will see practically in my next lecture. Then there is a core of operating system which is known as kernel. It interacts with the computer processor and all other hardware. So what is the core of the operating system? This is the core. That is the kernel of the operating system. We user are interacting with the application software. The application software uses the functions of the operating system either directly or through software libraries. And these operating system functions, they, through the core of the operating system, interact with the processor, memory, or other hardware. So this is the location of the kernel of the operating system. We are not interacting with the kernel. We are interacting with the kernel indirectly through these layers. And this is the operating system graphic user interface. Sometimes we interact directly with the operating system interface, sometimes through the application software. All these we will learn in my next lecture practically. So there are few terms which are related to operating system. Uh, a computer operating system or a computer system can be multi-user. By multi-user, we mean that two or more users work with the computer at the same time. It may be multitasking, that is, two or more processes are running at the same time. And the third term is multi-threading. Multi-threading means two or more parts of the same process are running at the same time. So if two or more users are using, it is multi-user. If a particular user open up two application softwares, like at present I am using Microsoft PowerPoint to present my lecture, and I'm using Zoom application. So I'm using two processes uh, on my computer. So it is a kind of a multitasking. And a process, a particular process in the advanced computers which are available nowadays, they interact or they perform their function through one or more threads. So a particular process may be using two threads which are connected to the processor. So that is multi-threading. So these are three terms. Then what are the types of operating system? The common types which are available are Microsoft Windows. This we all know. Uh, at present, we have Windows 10 operating system. Previously, it was Windows 8 and so on. Then for Apple computers, there is Mac operating system. And there is another operating system known as Linux operating system. This Linux operating system uh, basically has a command-based interface. Then there is an operating system for mobile phones, smart TV, and smart watch. And that operating system is known as Android operating system. So in our smartphones, most of you may be uh, watching my lecture through your smartphones, and your smartphone has operating system known as Android mostly, and it may be I operating system if it is Apple phone. So this is the most important subtopic of today: functions of operating system. So operating system functions I have divided into four. So what are these four? Operating system control computer hardware. So operating system control computer hardware. This is the basic function of operating system. Operating system have some of the built-in utility programs. So like Windows Notepad, then Windows WordPad. So there are few utility programs which we can directly interact with are of operating system. Let me go to previous diagram. This is the part of operating system which we are directly interacting with. For example, my this Windows Notepad, WordPad. These are some of uh, the user interface uh, part of operating system which we may be directly interacting. Otherwise, most of the time we are interacting through application software. So operating system may have built-in utility programs. Otherwise, we are interacting with application programs. So these application programs, they are managed by operating system. How operating system manage those application programs? By process management, by memory management, and by resource allocation. Then the fourth function of operating system is file management. So we have files uh, in our computer. I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint for presentation, and file, there is a file of my lecture on my computer which I have opened through Microsoft PowerPoint, and I'm talking to you. So these are the four functions of operating system. One is control of hardware, the other is built-in utility programs, then application management and file management. These are the four basic functions which we will take one by one. So controlling of computer hardware. So operating system is interrupt driven. So uh, let me give you a simple example. Uh, Whenever I click through my mouse, the device controller of my laptop immediately identify that I have clicked my mouse, and the device controller informs, which is a part of operating system. It informs operating system that user have generated an interrupt, and that interrupt was a click. Otherwise, everything is stationary. Now I am not using my mouse, and everything is stationary. Whenever I click my mouse, I am generating an interrupt, and device controller inform to operating system that user have clicked his mouse. So that is how the operating system is interrupt driven. So interrupt may be through the hardware. For example, I'm using mouse. Mouse is a hardware. or interrupt may be from the software. So there are certain interrupts from the software, and these are like software errors. Sometimes there are error in software. Whenever we make software as a programmer, we inadvertently sometimes divide by zero, and divide by zero, you know from mathematics that it will generate an error. It will be not a number. When you divide a particular number with zero, it will be not a number. So then your software will generate an error and inform the operating system that error has been generated, and then operating system will do something, or your software or application software will inform you that there is an error. Then application software may request operating system for some service. There may be other scenarios like there may be infinite loop. So these are the errors when you make a software. These are inadvertent errors. So they also generate an interrupt. So interrupt may be either hardware generated or software generated, and our operating system is driven by interrupts. So whenever there is interrupt, operating system know what to do with that interrupt. So a separate segment of code determine what action should be taken for each type of interrupt. So that was about how operating system is interacting with hardware and controlling the hardware. That was the first function of operating system. The second function of operating system, the third function in fact, is application management. So every application is a computer program, a computer software. So uh, whenever we run a program, it generates one or more processes. A process is an active entity and a program is a passive entity. So whenever you run a program, it generates one or more processes. So what operating system does with the process? So role of operating system in process management. So creating and deleting both user and system processes. So operating system can either create or delete a particular process. So it has overall control on my computer, my operating system. It can suspend and resume processes. Then process synchronization. Sometimes it is required to run a program. Then communication between processes. Sometimes two processes communicate with each other. The result of one process is transmitted to the second process, and that is through the operating system. Sometimes while running a program or a process, there is deadlock. The computer system hangs up. You might have experienced this thing that computer sometimes hangs up. So operating system sense that there is a deadlock situation, and operating systems soon handle that deadlock situation and recover your computer processes. So this is about process management. Then memory management. The operating system allocate and deallocate memory spaces. So whenever I run my program, like I am running this PowerPoint presentation, and all the data, entire data of my file is loaded in the random access memory now. So how it is loaded? Operating system has loaded it. So it allocated a particular memory space to my PowerPoint program, this which I am running. And the operating system keep track of which part of memory is currently being used and by whom. Operating system know that I am using a particular program and which program is using a particular part of memory system. So operating system decide which data to move into and out of the memory. So operating system manage the memory. Operating system as a resource allocator. So operating system decides between conflicting requests for efficient and fair resource use. So if there are many programs which are running simultaneously on a computer system, and at any particular time there are number of programs which are running. I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint, I'm using Zoom, and there are many other programs which are running in background. And all these program utilizes resource of computer, and that resource is allocated by the operating system. It prevent errors and improper use of the computer. So operating system, it control all the programs. Now the final function of the operating system was file management. So we will talk a little bit about file system and file management systems. So these are the units of storage. A basic unit of computer storage is a bit. I told you about computer language in my previous lecture that computer language contain only two things, 0 and 1. 0 means no current is flowing, 1 means current is flowing. So that 0 and 1 is known as bit. 8 bits are known as byte. So 8 bits, for example, 0, 1, 1, 0. So 8 such bits is known as byte. And 1024 bytes is a kilobyte. And similarly, this is the typing mistake. It is 1024 to the power 2 is a megabyte. Then 1024 to the power 3 is gigabyte. Then 1024 to the power 4 is terabyte. And 1025 to the power 5 is petabyte. So these are the units of storage. Why we discuss this unit of storage? Because I wanted to define a file. So a file is a collection of bytes of data. So this was a byte. File is a collection of bytes of data or information treated as a single unit. So operating system treat a collection of bytes as a single file. So this my file, my lecture file, PowerPoint presentation file is a collection of bytes, which is treated as a single unit by my operating system. It has got a unique name, and file system keep track of where the file is actually located in my hard disk. My hard disk is subdivided into folders, and the topmost level of folder is known as root, and there are subfolders which contain file. There is sometimes known as path or full name of file. So path of file is the location of file in which folder it is located, along with the name of the file is known as the full file name. Every file name has got an extension. For example, when you work on Microsoft Word, the file generated is by extension .docx. Whenever you work with Microsoft Excel, you generate a file with extension .xlxx. So these are the extensions, and the extensions are registered by operating system. Whenever you open that file, operating system know which program to open to utilize that file. So that is about the extension of file. Then every file has got 4 attributes. These are read-only attribute, that file is read-only. Then hidden attribute, file is hidden. Then a system attribute, that file is a system file. We should not play with the system file. Then whether the file is ready for archive. So this is about file attribute. So what operating system does with files? Operating system can create files and directories. Operating system can delete file and directories. This we will learn in practically we will see in my next lecture. Operating system can manipulate file and directories. Operating system can map files to secondary storage. Secondary storage, for example, a pen drive. Then operating system can back up file to a stable storage media. We can take a backup of our file. So operating system does all these things to file. So whenever we talk about file, there is a concept known as security. Operating system control the processes which we have already learned, and operating system know who is using the computer. Every user of computer have a unique user ID. Whenever you start your computer, there is a login screen with your name or whatever name which you have given. So, and a group of users are grouped together and there is a group ID. So there is a user ID, there is a group ID, and every file or a program is assigned to one or more user. Only those users can use the file. And operating system also protect from viruses and identity theft. So there is something known as disk operating system. It is the earliest operating system. It is not multitasking. It can perform only single task and it can run one program at a time. It is a command based system. No graphic user interface is there. And earlier versions of Windows, they used to work through disk operating system or DOS. We will learn practically the utilization of DOS in my next lecture. So this is uh, all about today's lecture. Have a nice day. Any doubt?